Hi, my name is Fátima and I'm talking to you from Newfoundland, Canada. January is almost gone. Today we have 3 more days and it's over. So today is, I think it's the 28th. And I started this month, this is really actually very good. We almost didn't have snow. We had snow twice. Of course, when my daughter came to visit, we had snow. But we were able to do some trips, and one of them was to a lighthouse in Fairyland that is close to our house. It's more or less 20 minutes, and that's the footage you're going to see at the end. It's that lighthouse, and we went together and we did some walking, and it was really, really nice. We walked in the back of on the trail that we have in the back of our house that goes from here up to St. John's. Of course, we just did a little part because it was late. It was after my job. And it's getting dark later, but it's still around 5, it's dark. So I was a little bit scared, but it was okay. So I did have her here for 1 week, and it was great. I love my daughter. And it was nice having her here. So I don't know when she's coming back because she's too busy. She's traveling everywhere. Anyway, for this month, I did 3 new cast-ons. And out of the 3 new cast-ons, I finished 2. So the first one is the trellis from Stephen West. I really like this shawl. I'm going to take it off because it's hot in here to wear the shawl, and I think it's gorgeous. I really love the texture, and what I did is, because this is Fios da Fazenda, this yarn is Fios da Fazenda, 100% merino, non-superwash. So when I was knitting it, I thought that it was too small, and the thing is, because merino non-superwash has a lot of memory. It doesn't have a lot of drape. So I thought it was too small. So the shawl is normally to have 12 lines. I was going to do 14. Then I thought maybe it's going to be too big. I did 13 lines here instead of 12. So I increased more or less this and this much. So almost 2 inches more to the end, and maybe 1.5 inches, I don't know, something like that, to the width. And the other change that I did is the finishing was a picot edge, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. First, because I'm not that into picot edges, so I just finished it with I-cord bind off, and I really liked it. And let me just see here. This is all I had left over of 2 skeins of this color. So I had bought 3 skeins of this and 2 skeins of this, and I had 3 skeins of this. This is my second skein. I had all this left over, and a completely full other skein of this. So I have to see what I'm going to do with the leftovers. But this is the shawl. I really think it's beautiful. This was from the hibernation last year, and I bought the yarn in February last year when I went to Brazil. And I just finished it now. So I'm pretty happy. I think the shawl is gorgeous. And if I wear with blue underneath, it's gonna be gorgeous. So this is my first finished object. Then these socks, my Portuguese group on Discord, makes a lot of knit-alongs, and one knit-along is designs from Fabi. Fabi is a Portuguese designer, and she has some nice designs, and I chose to do this one that is named Quietude socks. So the thing with the socks is that they are mirrored. So if you look at the back, let me put the cats like this, you see one cat is looking this way and the other is looking, so they are looking at each other when you're putting the shoes on, the socks on. So it's pretty nice. It's a DK weight. The thing that I didn't like is that I got opal yarn to do this, and the opal was too thin. So I put two strands together, and I got the gauge that was required for the socks. But to knit with the two gauges was not nice. Sometimes it would get inside the thread, and it was not very pleasant. So, but other than that, it's a pretty fast knit because it's a DK yarn, and I think they're pretty cute. I knit Portuguese style, so I did just a little insert that my husband is going to put in now. That is to show you how I knit color work in Portuguese style, because it is from the back that I knit, so you will see it here. So I wanted to show you how I knit color work. So I knit Portuguese style, and I'm doing this socks that is Quietude by Fibre, and I have finished one foot, and I'm doing the second one. But because I knit Portuguese style, I knit with the yarn on my neck, and in this case I have the dominant color is the color that is going to be this way, coming this way, and my other color, my background, is this way. So it's very easy for me to know what is my dominant, and because I always put it on this way, right? And I hold it with my right hand. And why? Because the dominant color is the color that goes always underneath. And that's what I'm going to show you how it works. So I have each color in both hands. It gives me tension. If I want more tension, I can just pull it here. The tension is here, and I'm going to start knitting. So I like to use the knit companion, and I always keep the information there. When I can, I put it up to the top because for me it's a better one. But so I have that, and for the second sock I need to knit the chart from the end to the beginning. So I'm knitting there, and now I'm going to do the white. Because the white is not my dominant, it's going to go through the top. I don't like to leave more than 3 stitches without crossing, so I cross it there, and I'm going to do it slowly. So as you can see, because the way I'm holding it, my red color, that is my dominant color, is already underneath. So I just pass it here. Now I have to do 4 stitches of white. So I have 1, 2. I want to get it tied up, so I put it underneath, but then I go on the top again, and then I have 1, 1, 2, and it's again from the top because it's not the dominant. You can see the red yarn is in the bottom, and then on the top again 2. Then I will go to the other side, and I like this pattern because it is really divided, so I have the blue line there to help me know where I am. So just a little bit more, And the reason I'm doing this today is because I want to show what I discovered needing 3 collar work, 3 collars on my collar work, Portuguese style, the way that is helping me better. So now I have to knit 4, 1, 2, because it's 4, I'm going to go, let me show you again, it's here, so I'm going to cross this underneath and then here, so it's all tied up, it's not loose anywhere, the floating is not loose. So I have 4, the red is underneath, let me just push my tension here, and again 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1, 2, 3. My white is going to be on the top and my red is in the bottom. 1, 2, 3. So now I have again 4, 1, 2, and then I'm going to tie the float and on the top again, and 1, 1, 2. So this is what I wanted to show you, how we do collar work Portuguese style if you're only doing collar work with 2 collars. And all you do it all with pearls instead of needs. And the advantage is it goes much faster. The disadvantage is if you have a very complex collar work, you are not looking at the front of the work. But if you put if it's a repeat collar work, it's okay. Just have the stitch markers there, and that helps to find if you have any mistake. Objects done, and then my third object is from this book. It's not finished yet. It is from the book Wilderness Knits, that my dog Shoe, Lucky. I have to make a cover here. And it's this sweater. I had last year made some bartered with Knit 3 Together in Huntsville. And I got a lot of cascade yarn. And when I was trying the gauge, it was perfect for this sweater. So I did the gauge. Let me just get it here. And this is the sweater. So I am on the first sleeve, and I'm going to put it, because it's not on the right side, because again I need Portuguese style, and I need from the back. So this is the sweater. So I had a few issues with the sweater. Not a big one. I started with needles 5.5, even though the pattern is asking for 4.5. And I thought, you know what, I think I prefer 4.5, so I changed it, and it's okay. It's a little bit large in the bottom, and it's going down. And to do the collar work, I did change my needles. Well, up to here, I went on with the 4.5, and then I noticed, oh, I didn't change my needles. Because if you see, it makes a difference for me. I go one needle higher to do it. So I think here I started with the 5. I remember I didn't want to undo, and I did the rest. So this is the thing. So when I was reading the instructions, it says for you to knit the top and then just cut for the sleeves. But this is probably because they were talking with Norwegian yarn that is so soft spun that it's probably felt, or when you cut, they said you go through the machine with it and then you cut and it's going to be okay. Because I don't feel that safe, I decided to do a stick thing. So I added 5 stitches here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches to cut the stick in the middle. And the complicated part was to see where to start the stick, because I didn't know the sleeves. So I look at the magazine and I was looking at the pictures and I saw this one and I said, oh, okay, I think it's more or less when it's in this area. So that's how I decided to do, because I didn't want to do a stick and then sew it together. So, so this part I did without the stick, and I increased the stick here to here. And it worked pretty good on the side because I already cut. So what I did is I did 2 lines. I got the lines and it's not going to show here. And I did slip stitch with the crochet needle, and I went through the lines and then I cut in the middle. But then I was not smart enough to tie up the stuff here before I start knitting, and I started knitting the sleeves. The other thing is that the pattern, the instructions in the pattern is for you to knit the sleeves separated and then sew it together with the arm, do the stick and sew it there. I didn't want to do that because when you're doing the stick, and if you pick up the new stitches where you want, you have a nice finishing here, and also the stick tends to flip itself. So when you get the stitches, the fabric is like this, and you get the stitches here, it automatically folds the stick part. So there the line of thoughts was okay. The problem is really that I left here and I start knitting, and I think with the movement, what happened is that some parts got really bad. So I stopped and I did like little X's here to tie it up everything together. It doesn't have any holes, as you can see, it's all there. And I think what I'm going to do is, when I am to block this sweater, because I do want this sweater blocked. I normally don't block my sweaters, but this one I do want. I'm going to come here with soap and do some friction here to make it more felted. But I think it's gonna be okay. And then I'm thinking if I'm going to add some fabric here just to cover this part or not. I'm not sure. So, but you can see here it came pretty much to the corner of the fabric. The lines that I picked up are here. But I hope this is going to be okay. So this is pretty much where I am. And this sweater, it has a lot of lines, more than the other one, that you need to knit with 3 colors. And my problem, so the other thing I did here, before I forget, is that, so I put oh my gosh, now I see that I took the thing off here. I gotta put it back. So I put the stitches on stitch holders, and then I put them back in the needle, and I did a 3 needle bind off. I normally like to do Kitchener stitch, but I decided to try with the 3 needle bind off, and it turned out really nice here. I just have to get those stitches that are loose. And this is ready to do the collar. So as you can see, there is a lot of lines, a lot of rows that you have to do 3 collar. I had tried different ways before, and I'm making, I made a little insert to put here of how I'm knitting it now. I leave one out and then I work with it. I'm not proficient. It's still slow and painful for me to do 3 collars in the same row, but I'm getting better at it. So to do 3 collar work, the best way that I found out to do is I watched some videos, and there was one specific from Jessica that she's a designer and she has a podcast. I'll put a link here to her podcast, and she did that. The 3rd collar she always leaves loose, so that's what I'm doing here. I have my regular 2 collars around my neck, the dominant collar on my right hand and the non-dominant on my left, and I have the extra collar there that I don't want to be dominant neither. So in this case I have to do 5 of this golden collar, so I do 3 and I hold the yarn, so 5, and then 1 of this, and then with my hand I do the 3rd collar. And one good thing about this is that I can pull the yarn if I think I need to. So again, this is 5 collars, 5 stitches of this collar. I will hold, pass it, and then have it again underneath. This is just to have the float here not too far. Although with 3 collars there's so many yarns that I sometimes leave a little bit more, but 5 for me is too much. So again, I do manual 1, 2, 3, and 1, 1, 2, and this is the end of my row. So this is sweater number project number 3 that I'm hoping I will finish before the end of the month, and I'm pretty happy with it. So just was a little bit scary. Then I'll get this afterwards. Okay, and I'm glad because I'm using the books that I have to knit and get them done. So the other thing I have now is in spinning. I had shown you 3 skeins that I had done last year. So this year I have 3 more skeins, and I still have this to spin and finish off. I didn't wash it yet because so here you might be able to see the differences in the skeins, and that's what I was looking for, a variation on the collars. So I still have that, and one of my teachers said that we should wash all the skeins at the same time, because even when you are washing, you can change the skein if you rinse more times, or so I'm waiting to have that finished to to wash them and then decide what I'm going to do. If I'm going to do the shawl that I wanted to do it. Of course, I have much more than a shawl. I think that I have enough to make a dress here. So I'm thinking about it. I'm not 100% sure. Or I don't know, maybe a long jumper. I'm looking for something different, so I don't know. So spinning wise, that was it. And purchases, it was just that arrived, just this book. I bought other stuff, but they didn't come. So I was looking for this book. Cristina from Acerca de Tudo podcast, a Portuguese podcast, had shown this book a few times, and I was really drawn to it. And you know, orange. So the socks are really great. And then at the end it gives you instructions to match the patterns and get different socks out of them. I think I really like because they're very colorful. I like them. I really like the color work and how colorful they are. So I plan to start working. This year is not sock year for me, but at least one sock. I like this one. One sock a month. That's what I'm going to do. I hope. So this is the book, and I guess that's it. It's a pretty short episode. There's going to be a long film at the end because that's the trail that I did with Paula, and I hope you enjoy, that you had a good start of 2023, and that I see you soon. Big kiss and goodbye.